Because if there's one universal truth in life, it's that friends don't let friends roll their top sides. Let's get into it.
We're rolling. Welcome to
Roll Minnesota.
You're watching Roll Minnesota.
You're watching Roll Minnesota.
Minnesota seal of approval.
We're watching Roll Minnesota. Subscribe.
Hey everybody, what's up from Roll Minnesota, your state of skate. Butch Lehman out here at Shakopee Skate Park, and today we're working on topsides. Now if you're anything like me, learning topsides is a very difficult thing to do when first starting out skating. And there's a lot of different types of obstacles you could do topsides on. You could do them on boxes, on rails, on quarter pipes, but where they are really challenging is on square ledge obstacles. So that's what we're gonna focus on today, is giving you all the tips, all the secrets to doing legitimate topsides. Because if there's one universal truth in life, it's that friends don't let friends roll their topsides. Let's get into it. Now it's important when learning topsides to have the regular grinds down first, because topsides are going to require some additional ankle strength as well as body positioning. And probably the easiest way to start is with a rail obstacle. That way if you get too far over topside, you don't have to worry about slipping out, but also it's a little bit easier to lock into than something that's a square 90-degree angle. So we'll start from there and we'll work the progression up to things that are increasingly difficult. So one of the common problems that you'll see people have when doing topsides on rails is at first they jump over it, so it becomes more of a far side grind rather than a topside. It does take a little while to get the ankle strength and the muscle memory built up to be able to really lock in topside leaning over. And that's gonna be a problem once you take it to square ledges, because if you're not fully topside, that foot's gonna slide out and you're not gonna have a good time. So we're gonna rewind that back, try it again, but this time we're gonna keep our body on the inside of the obstacle. And that's one of the keys. All right, well now that we got our land legs under us with some topsides on rails, I thought we would transition into the square ledges with something a little bit easier. A round box like this, a coping box, it does stick up just a little bit above the flat surface of the box itself. So you don't have to fully commit the ankle flex onto this, and it's a little bit safer without slipping out. So that would be my recommendation, is if you have a coping box to practice on first as you're learning topsides, it's gonna make the transition a little more gentle before going full on into the square ledges. But we'll come up to those here in just a second too. Next, I wanted to talk briefly about topsides on quarter pipes. I think quarter pipes are the perfect intermediary going from rails, but before you go to square ledges, because they do have coping that's elevated just a little bit off the top of the quarter, making it easier to lock into and get that ankle bend that you'll need later on for those more difficult 90-degree angles. Having said that, this does require some prerequisite knowledge. You have to be good at skating transitions, carving in at that parallel angle, to get the angle right to lock into the top side. So in a lot of ways it does feel different than that straight on approach with a rail or a ledge. But we'll get some quarter pipe top sides here before we move into the next phase. Continuing our journey into topsides, we have a number of different square ledges here that we can put to use, including the C-box over here. There's also a really mini square ledge down over here. And we've got a couple of line ones hanging back over here on the side of the park. Now this one behind me is kind of your prototypical ledge. It's about knee high, not too long, so you don't have to balance very far on it, but I think it'll work out beautifully. Couple things to remember: make sure you come in with that parallel straight on approach, and as you jump for it, make sure you're not jumping over on top of the obstacle, but instead reaching your feet, reaching your legs over, and locking into that top side position. Remember, it's all about that outside shoulder. You want to keep it straight above the obstacle with the rest of your upper body on the inside. Let me show you what I mean. We got the sea ledge coming up next. This is a fun one. Now, I know this might be a bit counterintuitive, but often the smaller the ledge, the harder it is to topside. And that's because you gotta compensate for the difference in height by further bending your knees and flexing your ankles. And for a lot of people, it takes a while to build up that muscle memory and those individual muscles inside the feet and knees, especially if you're older like me. But this sea ledge is gonna be really fun. I really wanna fish brain it. I think that's going to be the ticket, is if you can fish brain a small under foot tall ledge, then you got your flexibility, your exercises in for the day. Let's see what happens. All right, as long as I'm over here, I had an idea for a line. I really like switch top horn. It's surprisingly easy for me, and I know that might be a bit controversial. I treat it kind of like a back unity. But anyway, the thought was, let's do switch top horn on this ledge, roll the top of this one, and then regular alley-oop top horn on that ledge. These little sea ledges are pretty quick, so it's like on and off right away. But I think with some precise maneuvering, we can get that one done in a few tries. Let's get it. The lowest ledge in the park, and we got to get a topside on this as well. And check it out. Honestly, I think this will be the hardest topside of the day for me, just because of how low that is. The ultimate topside test. If you can grind up and across the square ledge, you're doing something right. So that's what I'm gonna try, and we'll stick with my safety trick. That's the top horn. So top horn up and across, coming in hot. This is a big, scary ledge, and it's perfect for some topsides. All right, so now that we've upgraded to the big guns, the big ledges like this is where it really gets deadly and where all of the training has to be precisely executed. Because if your foot slips out on a ledge like that, you're taking a tumble over, and that's not gonna be fun. We've all been there before. Nobody wants to be there, so hopefully we'll avoid that. But like I said, pretty big one. Well guys, thanks for joining me out here at Shakopee Skate Park for our Topsides clinic. These are the type of trick that you really have to practice more and more. It does take more than one session to build up the confidence and the consistency to do topsides on square ledges with regularity. The best thing about them though is they open the door for all sorts of other tricks, all sorts of other variations, because you could add the alley-oops, the true spins, 360s into grinds, switch-ups. So this is one of the key elements in the arsenal that you'll want to develop. Anyway guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this one. I'm gonna go get some more topsides in, but I'm Butch Lehman of Roll, Minnesota, reminding you all to stay safe, stay healthy, and get out there and work on those topsides. We'll see y'all in the next video. Peace everybody.